Stubborn belly fat sucks. And you know what makes it worse? Cardio. Look at this marathon runner. Now look at this one. Now this one. Now, do you think it's a coincidence that all these marathon runners, they lack muscle mass and they have stubborn belly fat? Now, if they're running upon miles and miles and you're essentially doing the same training, Stairmaster, jogging, what do you think is happening to your physique? You're getting more skinny fat. Stop doing that zone 2 cardio. You shouldn't be doing that jogging. You shouldn't be doing the 20 minutes of Stairmaster every single day. But what should you be doing, and what kind of cardio is going to help you maintain muscle and lose fat? Now look at this sprinter. Now this one. Now this one. Now what you need to be doing is the same type of cardio that these sprinters are doing. Short-paced, very intense, with extreme amounts of effort. Stuff that's going to have you gasping for air, stuff that is going to have you struggling to even stand up because you're trying to get your air back. The type of training I'm talking about is sprint interval training. It's not a coincidence that all these football players, rugby players, sprinters, they all have very similar builds. Now, what is sprint interval training and why does it work? Well, unlike slow-paced zone 2 type cardio, which makes you look more skinny fat, this sprint interval training, which helps you maintain and build muscle, works because it gives you so many different benefits. You see more growth hormone, you see increased testosterone, your metabolism boosts, and much, 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 much more. And it's also the exact method that I use with Angelo, my client slash good friend now, who went from a skinny fat physique to looking like this. So you can see with him, he went from a skinny fat physique where he had that stubborn belly fat to a more defined, more muscular, more athletic, lean body type. So it is possible. You guys just got to have the right training methods in place and stop doing the things that everyone's telling you to do that doesn't fit your specific body type. It might work for them and others, but for the skinny fat physique, it won't work. I'm talking about zone 2 cardio. Now, before I actually get into the whole how to do this kind of sprint interval training, you need to understand that this is only a tool to getting where you want to be. Breaking that skinny fat physique is like a puzzle, and it takes different puzzle pieces to make you see the whole picture, if that makes sense. It takes a good training plan, a good nutrition plan. It takes the right type of rest days and consistency, because if all that is not in place, you will never lose those love handles and you will never get that lean, slim, muscular body that you're looking for. So if you do want more information on how to get rid of the skinny fat physique, comment down exactly what you need help with, whether that's nutrition, more training, or whatever that might be. So now let's get into the good stuff. How do you actually do sprint interval training? Well, sprint interval training, what it is you going at maximum effort with maximum speed, with maximum explosiveness, 110% for about 20 to 30 seconds with 3 to about 5 minutes of rest in between. It's all about getting your muscles to exert itself insanely. So some of the ways you actually use that technique is with some like cardio machines. So you can use the treadmill, you can use the bicycle, you can do it with a boxing bag. I'll put a little example right here. You can also do it with just normal sprinting. That's probably the easiest because you could just do it in your front if you wanted to, in front of your house. So the way you know if you did it right is if by the end of those 20, 30 seconds, or that may be like, 50-yard dash that you did, you should be gasping for air. Your heart should be beating out of its chest. You should be literally dreading to do another one, and your body should be already extremely fatigued. If you don't feel like that, you didn't go hard enough, and it didn't work. So all you need to do is about 2 to maybe 3 of those starting off with about, again, 3 to 5 minute rest, with doing that maybe like once or twice a week starting out. And that'll really help you maintain that muscle while losing fat. Of course, there needs to be other things in place, right? Nutrition plan has to be on point. Training plan on point. Recovery days. A full plan needs to be in place to get you really your ideal physique, right? But this is a tool to help you get to that goal. So what I'm saying is there is more steps that need to be taken in order to get to your goal. So stick around to the end of the video and I'll give you another option that can help you achieve your goals faster. But the last thing I want to talk about before you leave is this type of training can be a little dangerous. You see, with sprint interval training, because it gets such amazing results, there are also some trade-offs. It's dangerous. You can get injured. You can pull a muscle. You can even overheat. And that's really the dangers why people don't like to do it, but it does get the best results. So I'm going to give you guys a checkoff list to make sure you're doing before you actually completely go all in on this. That way you can prevent injuries and get to your goals. Number one is going to be a great warm-up. So dynamic stretches, maybe just going on a jog, or maybe going at like a slower pace of a sprint interval training. So instead of going like 110%, maybe go at 50% for like a few of them, and then 70%, and then 90% until you work your way up to 110%. Having a great warm-up is crucial to never injuring yourself, and a lot of people don't warm up enough. Sometimes I warm up for like 20 to even 30 minutes. So if you've never done this type of training before, this sprint interval type of training, then you need to work your way up to it. Your muscles aren't used to moving that fast, and it's going to rip no matter how great your warm-up is, because you're not used to it. So start off going maybe 50% at first, and then doing that for maybe a month even. And then go up to like 70%, doing that for a month, then 90%, doing that for a month, until you work your way up to eventually you're going at 110%. Even if you have past experience with like football, or you've been sprinting, you still want to get used to it, because your muscles aren't used to it like it was when you were 20 years younger and in high school and thriving with testosterone. And then number 3, you need to have good nutrition. You have to make sure that nutrition is in place to not only recover, but to prevent any like deficiencies, so you don't pass out when you're actually doing these things. One last thing is sleep. Make sure you're getting good sleep. You don't want to just be lacking sleep when you're doing this kind of training, because it does exert a lot of energy, and when you're lacking sleep, it can leave room for error, which can again cause some injury. And if you need a little bit more guidance on how to not be skinny fat no more, lose that stubborn belly fat, the love handles, maybe the man boobs, and get a nice lean muscular physique, I have 2 other options for you. Number 1 is I'll be putting up a video somewhere around here about a step-by-step guide of how to actually lose that stubborn belly fat with gaining more muscle. It's going to have a training steps to follow, nutrition guidance to follow, and overall general advice to not be skinny fat no more. Or we can talk one-on-one, where we talk about your problems, maybe some of the stuff that's holding you back, and coming up with a game plan to get you moving along and seeing faster and more effective results. If that's what you want to do, click the link in the description below, and we can actually hop on that call and get you set up for success.